Hi, Marilyn here, and I want to talk to you about ascension and awakening. And ascension is our evolution, and we're spiraling up and we're raising our consciousness. We're raising our individual spiritual consciousness. We're raising our physical body consciousness and the collective consciousness as Mother Earth has her consciousness that she's already raising. And we're fine tuning with her and the cosmos. One of the things that happens when you're ascending is that you're also awakening to things that you didn't know before. You're awakening to inner truths, and you're awakening to seeing things that aren't working externally as well as internally. So one of those things that's very upsetting, and but it's something we have to go through, because what happens in the awakening is we discover where we've been giving our power away, where we're letting other people make decisions for us, where we're believing our old programming, where we're thinking all the shoulds and how we should be in our society. And just it's complicated is what I want to say. It's complicated, it's confusing, it's shocking to the system, because one of the things that can happen, one of the first awakenings, is you awaken to something in your family. You awaken to seeing something in your family that you didn't see before. How you might have a parent that is really not as caring as you thought they were, or that you made them out to be. You get to see how maybe you were mentally, physically, emotionally abused. Also, just different things. You just waken up. It's like you're more alert, and things come into your awareness that before were very we're blocked. And so when you're ready, and when you're ready for something new to come in, that something new will come in. That something new awareness that might be very shocking and disturbing and to you. That how could that be, right? And then another awakening experience is awakening to how the systems in our on our earth are not working. The systems of government, the systems of health, the systems of education, financial systems. We get to see how we've been conditioned and programming through generations of people in that do not serve us, that actually are to limit us, to make us what I call kind of go numb and dumb, to make us have addictions, to learn what they want us to learn, and not learn how to think for ourselves. So we start to see, either through our experiences, either through having an accident or something, a health issue come up, and then not being able to really be served by that health system, that you start to look outside of the health system, and you start to see, oh, there's other alternatives, but why isn't our health system sharing those alternatives? So, and then we get to see how we've been blocked or shut down by these systems in creating more holistic things. And I know I'm talking to my sensitives and starseeds, which we came here to help humanity and help them during this time. And one of our things that is that our own awakening has been happening. And so and some of you might be in this awakening right now, this consciousness, your consciousness became turned on in whatever area that you're experiencing. So I want to say you don't have to experience them all together. You can experience one area and then that leads you to another area. And that's like talking about going down the rabbit hole, or what people might label as conspiracy theories. What you come up against when you're awakening is you start to discover what people said was green is really red, what they said was good is really bad, or what's bad is really good, what's right is really wrong, what's wrong is really right, and it's crazy making. It's crazy making. So in this process of going down whatever rabbit hole you go down and talk to, and I would advise you look at all perspectives. You look, okay, this is what I was taught, and then go over here and look at science, or read books that have been written about it on all sides. Take in the information from as many places as you can, and then you feel into it. And as you're reading and taking in this information, use your multidimensional energies. Feel into things. Have your heart. Is this true? Is this not? Is this true for me? It might be true, and it might not, and it might be true for somebody else. Again, everybody has their own perspective, and their own programming. So we can't argue with somebody's programming that's been taught that. That's another reason to have compassion for yourself and for others, because it's like you're brainwashed. It's like you drank the Kool-Aid, and you're doing, you're doing what everybody else is doing, is drinking the Kool-Aid. And you have to start going, oh, is this Kool-Aid good for me? Right? It's like stuff has been put in our food, sprayed on our food, and stuff that is not good for us. And yet people that we thought, like the FDA, who are there to protect us, would protect us, or our representatives in governments are there to protect us, and they're not. And I'm not here to convince you of that. I just want to start sharing, certain things. I've gone through this and still going through stuff, like in disbelief, like I thought I was being taken care of. I thought I could trust you. So trust is a huge issue that's going to come up for you during awakening, because you're not even going to feel like, can I trust myself? Because I've been programmed, and I've been programmed to believe one thing, but is that true? Right? So it gets very confusing. So having people to talk about that with, having people to help support you who have gone through it, or in it themselves, but might be in a different area, and then you guys can share information. And that's, is super helpful. Like, don't think you have to go through this alone. And I would probably say that most of you, when you're going through your awakening, there's not a lot of other people around you who are awake, right? And don't believe, here's the other thing, is just because what you've been told that red is green, you can't believe somebody that says, well, this is what green really looks like, or this is what red really looks like. This is the red, and that's it, So you have, like I said, what you're learning to do is awaken to a higher consciousness, and that higher consciousness is going to share information with you, different perceptions and perspectives. So part of you in the lower consciousness needs to know that you have skills, you have gifts, you have this multidimensional being that is going to help you discern to who are you as this sovereign being. How can you trust yourself? When you've been told that you're not successful unless you're making 7 figures, you're not successful unless you live in a big mansion, or can, have your own jet, or, whatever the stupid things are about that really doesn't matter. And you should not, you should be afraid. You should be afraid of aging. You should be afraid of all these different things. Again, a lot of this information we've been fed to look for the mistakes, to live in the fear. And our nervous system is constantly looking for the problems and trying to solve the problems. And it's taking you out of fear, taking you out of freedom and joy and knowing who you really are. So the awakening is learning, who are you really? Who are you in your family? And you don't have to be like your family. We were taught that in order to be safe, as a little kid, we create loyalty with our family in order to feel safe, in order to feel that connection, so that we'll get our needs met, so we'll have food and shelter, and we can grow. But even with food and shelter and growing, we still have things that happen in our lives and traumas and different, our parents' programming, our grandparents' programming. All of those are put on rituals and holidays and all these different things, information that's coming in, and we buy into it because that's how we become part of the family. That's how we learn to feel safe. But a lot of us don't ever really feel safe until we discover who we are, until we understand how powerful we are, until we know we become the decision makers, and we're not giving our power away to our family, we're not giving our power away to our government, to the different systems that aren't working. And systems can work and have worked before, but they're broken now. And again, that's for you to go discover and figure out and come to your own conclusions. Nothing I'm saying you have to believe. Again, be discerning with me. Maybe so just always just like question, think about and feel into it. And it's not so much the thinking, because the thinking will get you crazy, because there's science on all different sides. It's just like, you can get any information you want to back up what you want to portray. But we have to start using our hearts. This is also one way that the system doesn't work, as we were taught the brain, our thinking was more important than our hearts. But our hearts know the truth. Our hearts know a lot more, are much more powerful, and our conscious and our unconscious mind, are more powerful than anything you can think or your conscious mind. Your thinking mind is your conscious mind. Very little compared to the unconscious and your heart energy and the feelings. So you have to go discover how empowered you really are, but the awakening is seeing how disempowered you are and how you've given away your power in these different areas of your life. And then find others. Join my Patreon group, join other groups, or join, get together with people in person and start having conversations. What are you seeing? What do you feel? What do you feel about that? Start sharing information. And all different types, because everybody's going to be different and interested in something different. Everybody's coming at it from a different perspective, which is great, because you're going to get a lot of different input, which is what we need, and which is part of our system now that is trying to say there's only one direction to go, there's only us to listen to, and we have your best interests, and let us drive. Let us take care of your money. Let us take care of everything for you. All you have to do is sit back and let us drive. And that's giving your power away. So take back your power. Become aware. Become conscious. Start listening. Start looking. I always ask my higher guides, show me what I need to know now. And then I just watch for what shows up in my life. And the things that come into your life, the awareness that you're going to have, and wherever you feel drawn to go explore, trust that's where you're supposed to go. That's your thing. No matter if everybody else is over here on the right and you're feeling like you need to go left, Trust that. You got to start trusting yourself. It'll always, if you go left and you need to go right, you'll eventually veer. The left will take you to the right. And you have to trust that we have this bigger energy than us. The quantum field, source, God, whatever you want to call it, has our backs and is working with us when we ask it to work with us. And we have our higher selves, our connection to source, all of our guides and angels and masters, and it's amazing when you have that, like, direct me, show me, put me in the path, that have me introduce people. Probably some of you I'm coming to for the first time, and it was like, whoa, how'd she come up? I have that so many times because I don't know how I found you. You popped up and you said the right thing. I've had somebody, their directional kept telling them that Marilyn's just 15 minutes away for like a year and a half until she finally called me because she kept getting directed to me. And so you have support. There's lots of people. I'm a support. You can find other people that will be supports because this is mind-blowing, right? Your mind is going to be blown, and that's a good thing because we want to break down or blow apart your old thinking and create a new, and you get to choose. That's the thing, is you're going to blow the mind off of what people have been wanting you to think and believe and follow and do, and get clear in yourself, clear all that out, and then get clear in yourself. What do I choose? Where am I going? What do I want to believe? What is important to me? What do I need? What do I want? What do I desire? What do I want to create? Who do I want to create with? What's the world look like? What do I want to feel? Instead of letting other people do that for you. That's not why you're here, and you're not like anybody else, and nobody else is like you, so nobody can tell you what you should be like, what you should be thinking, what you should be creating in this world. You got to discover that. That's the evolution. The awakening is awakening to what isn't working and what are my choices, and then the evolution is you putting all of that into action. You putting that all, living it. As you do that, you're raising your consciousness, the dimension of your consciousness. You're raising to higher consciousness. And the higher consciousness, the higher we go in our consciousness, the less we're affected by our fight or flight, by our nervous system. Here in the 3D, our nervous system is way overstimulated, way irritated, or whatever is going on, right? Different things. And we have to learn to manage it in the 3D. But what I really was discovering even today was how, like, my higher self, when I feel into my higher self and higher versions of myself, there is not a nervous system that is like in fear or, on fight, wanting to be defensive or judging or wants to fight or freezes. The nervous, there is no. It's a being. There's a different perspective. That's your evolution. You're coming up having a different perspective that doesn't put you into fear. You're actually more into you being you, which is unconditionally loving energy. So anyway, this is a little bit of that talk. If you want to go into this much more and deeply have deep conversations, join my Patreon group at Marilyn O'Malley at patreon.com, and or send me a message through the video or on my website. But most of the action I do is here on my video YouTube and on in my Patreon group, and would love to have you join and have deep conversations like this, going in and asking questions and having different perspectives and being with like-minded people that are wanting to create an environment that's really inclusive and loving and creative and supportive. So until we meet again, live, love, and matter. Take care. Bye.